The Houston Rockets have managed to trade Kevin Porter Jr. We're going to talk about that trade. We're also going to talk about why Victor Wembanyama will live up to the hype. And is Ben Simmons really going to turn his career around? We're going to talk about all that and more right after this.
Welcome to the number one place for your daily basketball news and analysis, NBA Central.
What's going on, basketball fans? Welcome to another episode of NBA Central. I'm one of the hosts. Also joined by Stevo here. We're going to be breaking down everything going on around the NBA. And Stevo, trade randomly went down. We weren't sure if the Houston Rockets was going to be able to find a trade destination for Kevin Porter Jr. They did. They were able to trade him to the OKC Thunder. The Thunder also get 2 second-round picks. They're immediately going to waive Kevin Porter Jr. He's facing charges that could have him up to jail up to 7 years, so we understand why. What do you think about the trade?
Surprised they found somebody that even wanted to associate with him. But like you said, it was just to get a little stuff off. Like I said, you got 2 players and 2 picks, so at least you could get something out of that. But like, yeah, with the charges that's pending and some of the things, some of the nature we know of the whole thing that's going on, it's nothing we didn't see. We knew he wasn't gonna be a Rocket. We knew he probably ain't gonna play this year. So yeah, it's unfortunate. So young talented dude, I think a lot of us was looking at. A lot of us know him from high school because he had one of the most viral clips in high school history when it comes to basketball. But hey, man, when you ain't living the right life and you get caught up in doing the wrong mistakes, this is the penalty you gotta come back from. Now we are seeing some people having given a second chance and likes of Miles Bridges, even though he looked like he about to mess it up again. But hey, it's just like I hope you do get that second chance because I'm always for somebody getting a second chance, but more importantly, I hope you learn from your mistakes. And yeah, it's just unfortunate, but
yeah, I mean, it is unfortunate, especially because Kevin Porter Jr. has talent. It's not like he's a horrible player, but you know, we all go through mistakes. His mistake is serious. I don't want to undercut it at all.
It's a big mistake.
Yeah, it's a huge mistake, and he deserves whatever comes his way for it. But hopefully, there is a light on the other side of the tunnel. He learns from it. He can grow from it. If he can salvage an NBA career, that comes secondary to growing as a man, right? That's what he needs to focus on. Now, in this deal, they're sending Victor Oladipo and Jeremiah Robinson Earl to the Houston Rockets, so they get some talent back on top of that. Oli, like if he can be healthy, he can definitely be something.
He's always going to be solid.
Yeah. Now, the OKC Thunder after this trade have 15 first-round picks and 22 second-round picks over the next 7 years. Keep in mind, Steve-O, this team just had to waive people were drafted in the late first round just to cut their roster to be to the size that the NBA needs. Like the OKC Thunder have a embarrassing amount of picks upcoming over the next handful of years. If a superstar ever becomes available, I don't know if anybody can outbid the OKC Thunder if they really wanted to go in on it. When you look at the Thunder, what they get, they're eliminating 2 players from their roster. They are going to have to pay $16.9 million guaranteed for Kevin Porter Jr. He gets that regardless. But what do you think about it?
Like, I'm just thinking about the last thing you just said. Like, bro, I got 7 first-round picks for you. like they can literally just send the whole house for him. But yeah, it's like it can be a good move, it could be a bad move at the same time. Like you said, it's kind of embarrassing that you got that many picks, but at the same time, it's also good to have those in your back pocket in case, like you said, a disgruntled superstar or a superstar that comes on the horizon. You can make your bid for it. If you see somebody that's coming after the draft that you perceive this is a generational talent, you got the means to go get them. And there's too many people, like you said, there ain't too many people. Like it's only maybe one team that got nearly as much as draft picks that they have, but it's still, even with them, there's nobody touching them when it comes to that. But the like I said, the Victor Oladipo sign and Jeremiah solid signings. Definitely depth move, so that's cool and all. But yeah, it's just cooler trade overall that you was able to get. That I feel like I didn't even know you was gonna be able to get that.
Yeah, because I didn't think they were going to be able to move that contract at all. So we'll see what ends up coming of it. But like I said, the Rockets, they make a deal. They get rid of a player who they just didn't want on their books. They wanted to get rid of. OKC Thunder get more picks back. They also clear some salary caps. So shout out to them for that. But moving into the next topic, Steve, I want to talk about this. Like, we've 2 preseason games under his belt so far. Wemby, like, he's averaging 21 points per game in the preseason. He's averaging 4.5 rebounds, 2 assists, and 2 blocks per game is Victor Wembanyama right now in preseason. The question I want to throw to you, will he live up to the hype? What do you think?
Like I've been said with C Dub and everybody else, barring injury, he has no reason not to be one of the next greatest.
Mm-hmm.
He just has all the talents. He has all the tools. One thing we know off rip is his greatness is going to show up in the defensive side of the ball first. I feel like because, like you said, just his sheer size, he blocking shots with his elbow just by putting his hands up. He don't even have to have great timing. Like that's one thing I don't think people realize. To like, not only does he have great timing, he doesn't need it because his limbs are so long. So you know how many fingertip blocks he's going to get just because they're long.
That's
Like he's
fact.
just a lengthy player. So like the defense is going to show up immediately. Like I feel like now we're starting to see the offensive game going on. Like you said, it is preseason. So like we've been seeing, I feel like the offensive game is going to come along a little bit slower than compared to the defense. But yeah, I feel like he's going to live up to everything you expect. He's listed as a generational talent, and barring injury, he's going to be a generational talent because there ain't going to be too many things you can throw his way that he hasn't seen before. And even if he did, he's 7 goddamn 4. If he just wanted to shoot over you, he can.
Yeah, and the fact is that, like, he's not only just tall and lanky, like he also has athleticism. Like, he doesn't have to use it a lot, but like you can tell that there's a whole aspect of his game that he hasn't unlocked yet just because of his athleticism. He's gotten by right now on being skilled, being a smart basketball player, and being long. When you add in the fact of, like, when the game starts slowing down to him, and on top of that, when he learns to like use that athleticism in the right spots, because he already has that wingspan to where you can blow by him and he can still block your shot cleanly, right? So
Yeah.
Wemby is he's going to be different, man. I know we've used the term unicorn, but here's what I'll say. I think Wemby may be the first true unicorn
I'm
if
about to
he
say
can
he
stay
the
healthy.
unicorn of the unicorns. He the
Exactly.
king unicorn. Because
Yeah.
there's nothing we've like literally. I feel like the first unicorn was KD. And he just like a Super Saiyan version of him. He's 4 more inches, a longer wingspan, and a better defender already. He's a better defender than what KD turned into a greater defender, not because he couldn't. It was just because of some things that changed over his career. He didn't have to really necessarily have a great defender, but now that he was at Golden State playing the 4, he had to turn into a defender, and it worked out for him. He was in the defensive conversation, but the difference between him is this man, what, 20, and is already probably going to be in the defensive conversation over, and that's the craziest part. Like it's like
Yeah.
he Anthony Davis mixed with KD.
Yeah, I mean that's like what Anthony Davis should have been, right? Like, if he can stay healthy, it's going to be all that and more. Like, and Wemby, like, I know Wemby's lanky, but like people act like he's like Chet. Like, I think Chet came in like 190 pounds. Wemby is 230 pounds, bro.
They could do a split.
Like, like, come on, you can't stop that, man. And so, I think Wemby is going to be one of those players where we see the NBA is going to have to adjust. You're going to start seeing defenses strictly geared towards stopping and taking the ball out of Wemby's hands. And honestly, with his size, his intelligence, I wouldn't be surprised if we see him bring the ball up the court to where you don't have the opportunity to keep the ball out of his hands because he's a smart decision making already. But imagine him having Pop re-signed for 4 years. You're gonna have 4 years at least of Pop mentoring him as well. Hey, man, Wemby, if he can stay healthy, is probably gonna own the league within the next 6 years, bro.
And that's why I was saying this whole year, I was like, just go to the West Coast. I'm not trying to deal with you in the East. I'm not trying to deal with you to go to the West. It's cool. But like I said, if he unlocks it, the game slow down because that's the thing that I realized like he does stuff just like he does moves, guard moves at the most weirdest times. Like, I'm gonna do the step back right here. Like, why would you do it right here? And then he makes it, he be like, oh. But then it's like once he realized when and where to do stuff, like, and then one I think I brought up to C Dub is like he embraces the physicality. He will put his shoulder down and
Yep.
flex on you and make the and one. He's that type of player. Like you said, he's 200 pounds. Yeah, his body is, and I told G-Dub this as well. I feel like he can have let me not say he can get not as big as Giannis, but his he can gain just as amount of muscle as he could if he put
Yeah,
the
I
right
mean,
vein.
absolutely. Like you can add that lean muscle on, and that's going to be something that he's going to do. Like I don't know how bulky we see Wemby get, but I don't think he necessarily has to add a bunch of bulk either. But he's still going to get more solid, which is just going to make him an even tougher defender. I do think that this rookie year, him adjusting to how strong NBA players are, you're going to see some of the stronger centers give him some work at times, but it's only a matter of time. Like Wemby's just too good, too smart to just everything where I think he's going to adapt pretty well to everything when it's
His
all said and
nickname should just be two.
done.
It's
Yeah,
too much. He's just
yeah,
too much to figure out.
yeah. I mean, it's going to be interesting to see how the league adjusts to Wemby being there now because it's only a matter of time. Like y'all may get 1 or 2 years where you can outsmart him, you can outwork him as he just adjusts. But once everything starts clicking for him and that mental part of the game matches up with that physical part and the athleticism, I think Wemby, much like LeBron, as much as I'm not a LeBron stan at all. I don't think LeBron's the GOAT, but LeBron lived up to every bit of the hype he had coming out of high school. Wemby's
Every
gonna
single
live
bit.
up to every bit of the hype. I
And don't
truly
let
believe.
him go. And don't let him go to Akeem Olajuwon school. It's over.
Oh,
It's over.
yeah,
I'm telling you
yeah,
that
that's
right now.
done. That's already done. You can go ahead and write that home. Last topic, and this is an interesting one just because of last night. I want to talk about this. So Pat Bev got kicked out of a preseason game for altercation with Ben Simmons, and the Philadelphia 76ers fans have now anointed like Pat Bev a god to them because we all know they hate Ben Simmons. But Ben Simmons, who's been playing in this preseason, hasn't done anything too crazy, right? I don't want to blow it out of proportion so far. He's played 3 games. He played over 20 minutes in all those games except the first one as well. He's not averaging anything crazy. He's averaging like 6 points per game. But do you think that coming into this with what the Brooklyn Nets were at the finish last season, the fact that they're a deep team, that, he doesn't necessarily have a ton of expectations on him. Do you think it's realistic for Ben Simmons to turn his career around?
Yes, he has every opportunity, every amount of talent to do. It's a mindset thing.
Yeah.
Like we said, I seen this man in the preseason doing fadeaways. I'm like, okay, do it more.
Yeah.
Don't just say it, like play hoop. That's the only thing we need you to realize. Like you've been out there overthinking this whole time. That was our main. We knew it wasn't no mental blockage. We didn't. Not to say that if it was, it was. But to us, it was just you're lacking confidence, and you don't realize what you did to get here. What got you here, you can still do. Like
Yeah.
even if you're not the scoring bunch of, if you give us 15, 10, and 10, ain't nobody tripping.
Yeah.
There is nobody tripping. Now, do you have the upside to be a scorer? Yeah, you do. We've been saying that for the longest. We're not telling you to pick up a shot just because. We're saying if you want to be this rail-rounded dude, which I'm pretty sure every basketball player wants to be, if you want to be one of those players, you got to work on every aspect of your game. And you're still young enough to do it. Is he not? What? I don't even think he's over 26 yet.
He's 27. I think he just turned
So
27.
27.
Yeah.
So you finna enter the prime of your career. You have no reason why you shouldn't. You're not even the first round. You're not even the first option scoring wise. You
Yeah,
don't have to be.
and this is the perfect situation for him to start working on his mental and other aspects of his game because you look at it, Cam Johnson, Mikal Bridges, probably even Spencer Dinwiddie and Cam Thomas, all going to be scoring options ahead of him. Ben Simmons is in a situation where he comes in, he can do his point guard thing where he's distributing the ball, play solid defense, rebound, and get the steals. He's already averaging almost 2 steals per game in the preseason. You can do those things, let the scoring come naturally to you to where you don't have to overthink the shot and stuff like that. I think there's more than enough time for Ben Simmons to turn it around. I don't know if he's ever going to hit that potential where people thought that at one point he was going to be a star in this league, but I do think that he can still be a damn good player that can contribute. It's just he has to focus on correcting the stuff that he can control, right? And he's in a good situation to be able to do that. The expectations are removed. This isn't the team that drafted you. I don't think anybody's looking at you to be a franchise player anymore. Just come in and do what you do well. And that's what we've seen other players feel freed in those type of scenarios.
Yeah, I'm just sitting here thinking to myself, like, how you become more passive than passive P? That's saying we got
I
a
don't
whole
know.
nickname for somebody being passive. You're more passive than he is.
Listen, at least passive P can get on the court. Like we've seen Ben Simmons be so passive to the point he don't even want to play sometimes. Like that's deep,
My
bro.
back. I ain't had no phone in my pocket. That was a water bottle. Motherfucker, a water bottle can't light up.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Like, yeah, to me, I still feel like he could be a star. Like, you a defensive player. That defensive player of the year is still in there. That defensive dude is still in there. And if you, like you said, if especially with this team, garbage points, just tough points, getting the rebound, going back up with it, that will give you 15 to 20 every night. You got shooters all around this team. Cam miss a 3, go get it. Go back up with it. Cut to the basket. Instead of you looking for the to give off the pass, get ready to receive a pass. How about that? Like, that's all you got to do, and you can be that star. Like, to me, he's such a physical, gifted guy. Like, I don't even think it'll be that hard for him, because when he was on it, it looked effortless. It was like, oh, I'm gonna pass right here, or I'm gonna go dunk on you here. It's just simple for him. It should be
like Ben Simmons is freaking 240 pounds and 6'10", and he moves like a guard out there. There should always be an ability for you to be able to be a productive player with just that skill. I think everybody knows. I don't think anybody really doubts him having the skill. It's just the mental. Like, and I don't like. I appreciate mental health. I don't want to undercut the importance of mental health and how that can affect every aspect of your life. And I understand needing to get that together. I know some people like think that he used that as a ploy. I don't know. I'm not a therapist. That's not for me to make that call. But at the end of the day, you got to go out there and you just got to play this game that you've been playing most of your life to play. You are one of the most physically gifted people in the NBA. Go out there and just make it happen, bro.
Hell, I was 16.
Yeah, if I was 16, I would have been done. I'd just dunk on people just.
They would have told, bro. They would have kicked me out for breaking so many rims in the YMCA. Hey, you can't dunk in here. Why? Stop it. For real.
Hey, we revoked your YMCA membership. Why? Because we didn't went through 15 rims this year. Because you
kick me out. I'm 16. What you talking about? Let's go, bro. Like, I can't stand with people. Like, that's why I can't stand when you physically opposing and you just naturally got it. That's what irks me the most. Like, bro, just go play. It's a kid sport, bro.
Yeah, at that point, you're wasting your naturally God-gifted gifts, man. And you got to go out there and make stuff happen. Before we go, Steve, I want to throw this one last question. I know this wasn't on the list. I just want to throw it to you because we're wrapping up preseason. Everybody got 1 to 2 more preseason games left for the most part. Right. We're about to start wrapping into the season. Has there been anything that you've seen in the preseason that has changed your mind on who your favorites are to come out of the East and West?
No, it's just the only thing I will say I get away. I'm seeing a lot of championship teams play, and they're taking preseason seriously. And I'm noticing other teams, such as ourselves, not playing everybody every night. And it's like, is that where you show the difference between the organizations, like how they ran and everything? That's what I've been looking at. So, to answer your question, it's more of like confirming why these teams are constantly a threat at winning a championship.
That's a fact. Like you look again, the Denver Nuggets. Denver Nuggets play they starters into the third quarter of a preseason game.
And we didn't play our starters at all.
Exactly, and that's how you start. That's where you start seeing the teams that have really used the preseason to tune up, right? And that's why some of these teams are hit the ground running, whereas others take time during the season to kind of ramp up and find their chemistry. And so, yeah, I mean, definitely you can see the teams that have those aspirations and understand what is needed to get everyone on the same page versus the teams that, so, and that's not to say that a team that could be a championship contender has to necessarily play their starters in the preseason, but it's just interesting to see the different mindset, right? But you got so many teams, especially in the Eastern Conference. I would say the top 2 teams in the Eastern Conference have major changes to the roster and new pieces, and we've seen them really try to work that out. We just got to see Dame and Giannis together, and I tell you what, seeing them together, bro, I'm not going to lie to you, it made me go from seeing them as a team that absolutely I had as a championship contender. I thought it was them and Boston were kind of neck and neck. But if the game is going to be that flawless for Dame and Giannis, bro, I don't know if the East has a chance, bro.
Bro, like I said, you can't build that wall, and you gotta account soon as this man go across half court. But then you can't forget this motherfucker that used to build walls for. So it's like, bro, I don't know what to do. And then they still got the shooters. Brook Lopez gonna give you 30 if you just commit to 2 of them.
That's a fact. And yeah, I mean, and they have the role players that are going to make it make sense. Hell, we're seeing Jay Crowder play 20 plus minutes, and I've told you before, a lot of the problems that I have with or concerns I have with the Milwaukee Bucks defense, if Crowder can be healthy by the playoffs, it goes a long way in eliminating some of that. And hey, listen, the Bucks seem like they ready, bro, and it's going to be a fun season to watch with them. The Bucks and the Spurs are my 2 league pass teams this year, outside of my favorite team, the Bulls, because I just it's so many reasons why I think they're going to be fun teams to watch.
Facts. Can't agree with nothing more.
All right, Steve, go ahead and give me your socials, man. Let's get up out of here.
Man, follow me at Stevo Speaks on everything, every single thing, NBA Central as well as the other Centrals. I'll be on everything.
You guys can follow me at CEO Haize. Make sure you guys are following the channel at NBA Central Pod. You can send us any feedback, questions, comments, concerns, NBA Central Show at gmail.com. And then lastly, if you want to leave a text message and our voicemail, 773-270-2799. We are the #1 spot for everything basketball related, and we out this bitch. Peace, y'all.
This has been a presentation of the Breaks Media. This has been a presentation of the Breaks Media.